Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Welcome to another episode of the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel. Today I continue my series on the Thelonious Monk box set review of the tenor sessions. And I did the last video I did was on the first album. I'm going in the order of when they were released. So Brilliant Corners was the one I did first. Today it's going to be Monk's Music, a very cool record. And in this is the cover, and I don't have a comparison on this particular video because this is the only copy that I have of this album on record. So this is going to be just a reaction video. I'm going to put on the record for you guys like I always do and let you know how I think it sounds. This was released in November of 1957. It was recorded in June 25th to the 26th in 1957. In Reeves Sound Studio in New York City. This is a septet, so you've got Monk on piano, Ray Copeland on trumpet, Gigi Grice on alto saxophone. It also helps on arrangements. The great Coleman Hawkins, the legend, on tenor saxophone. You have the newcomer on tenor, John Coltrane. Wilbur Ware is on bass. Art Blakey on drums. Orrin Keepnews is the one who produces the record. Jack Higgins is the recording engineer. And of course, as all these records in this set, this is remastered from the original analog tapes by Kevin Gray. So far, so good. They all sound fantastic. And of course, pretty much anything Kevin touches turns out to be very good. So I'm expecting this to sound very good as well. This is the actual record here that I'm going to put on here. We're going to listen to. 1957 is interesting for Monk because he has some bad things happen to him and a lot of good things. He does spend 3 weeks in Bellevue Psychiatric Hospital at the beginning of 1957. He was taken there by a policeman after being unresponsive after a car accident. Also, his wife, Nellie, develops an illness which results in a thyroidectomy, which really had a big effect on Monk as well. But also the positive things. He has this new musical relationship with John Coltrane. He also has gotten his cabaret card back, which allows him to get a lucrative gig at the 5 spot, which really boosts his popularity. This album is the 5th for Riverside, and as we spoke, Brilliant Corners was the 3rd record. You had your 2 records before that, which were cover records, one covering Duke Ellington and the other one covering other standards. Between Brilliant Corners and this record here, you've got Thelonious himself. So Monk puts out 4 albums in 1957, but this recording is notable. First of all, it's a really grooving, swinging record. And you've got Blakey on the drums, which really is, Blakey's the master. He offers us, these are all originals, but most of them are reworked originals, all with the exception of the last tune. I think it's called Crepuscule with Nellie, which means Twilight with Nellie, the song about his wife. But you've got 2 really cool blowing sessions, Well You Needn't, that runs at 11 minutes and 24 seconds. And what people consider to be the definitive version of Epistrophe, which runs for 10 minutes and 46 seconds, which was, of course, co-written by Kenny Clarke and recorded first by Kenny Clarke before Monk recorded it. So you've got 6 tunes. The first tune is interesting because it's just a 54-second introduction with the horn players playing, and it's I think it's a medieval tune that's been written by another guy whose name was Monk, and it kind of gives an introduction to the record, and then it hits in with You Needn't. So I'm going to listen to the first side with you guys and give you my impressions. This was the first Riverside record recorded in both mono and stereo, and this is supposed to be the mono version because it's an RLP 12242. As you can see here, and the stereo would be an RLP 1102. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this guy on there after just giving you the little introduction, and we're going to listen to it. And also, I'm going to show you a new book on Monk that I got, too, that's pretty cool. Nice flat record. I'm really digging this book that comes with the box set. And it does give a little write-up on the actual album, Monk's music. So it has a write-up of each of the 7 albums in the box set. So here we go. Well, you needn't. Little noise there. Sounds very nice. Everything is well balanced. You know, a little bit different than Brilliant Corners, where sometimes the piano sounded like it was a little back in the mix. This is really nice and present. Playing it on the Ortophon Blue on the Fluence RT85 turntable. Shit Monty preamp. Yamaha HS8 speakers. You hear Monk's phrasing is just very unique. I think one cool thing about this album, in my opinion, is it kind of comes across as kind of a jam session feel to it, almost a rehearsal feel to it. I think they reading about this session, they were working things out in the studio as they were recording this. So it kind of straddles that line, I think, between a studio recording, a jam session, and a rehearsal. And it's a very, very cool sounding record, in my opinion. Kind of gives you the best of all worlds, my opinion. You got a legend sax player, Coleman Hawkins, playing with an up-and-coming guy that will be a legend, Coltrane. I'm really digging it. New book. Completely different than the other ones. This really gets into his music, gets into more detail of the people that played with him and what they thought of his songs and what they thought of playing with him live or in the studio. And it's pretty cool. So I'm really digging this. So I do recommend this if you want to get into a little bit more of the musical side of things. And it's by Gabriel Solis, Monk's Music. So I've been reading a lot about Monk. Again, these other two biographies are very good. This is more of a poetic, very nice narrative, written book. It's really easy to read. It's not quite as detailed as this one by Kelly. This is a bit more of a difficult read, but it's a lot of information, a lot of details. So I recommend both of these for two different approaches. And then you got the musical approach on this book. I would say if anything in the mix sounds further back, it would be the bass. But you can certainly hear it. Wow. Drums sound fantastic. Blakey's a monster on that, isn't he? Fantastic. And that's why I say that this album to me has a very lively sound to it, almost like a jam session type sound to it. So to me it's definitely one of the top albums, my favorite albums by Monk, even though again it's hard to categorize them in any kind of an order of the greatest or anything like that. But it's certainly one of my favorites, and I love it. It sounds great. A lot of great players on here. And it's one of those, rare instances where you hear him playing with this many people. You got the trumpet, 3 sax players. Another thing to listen when you're listening to Monk, listen to how he builds up as he's playing through these choruses and how he changes things up and kind of builds up, especially when he goes and he gets a chance to solo. He's always kind of building up on the back of each chorus. He's very clever in how he phrases things and how he builds up what he has to say. He's very conversational. But he's also very narrative in that he's trying to tell a story, you know. And Monk is one of those guys, the few guys that re-recorded his songs quite a bit with different arrangements, kind of different lineups, different people. And of course, like with Epistrophe here was recorded like what, almost 10 years before this for the Blue Note. And that was, the sound quality is not as good on the Blue Note, and it's completely kind of a different feel than you get on this particular recording. So it's interesting because there's not very many people that I know of that recorded their songs, their own compositions, as many times as Monk did with different people, different arrangements. And of course this one being another one. And how many of these became standards, you know, for jazz players all the way up until now. Nice. Yeah, I'm really digging it. It sounds very good. I'm happy with this set so far. The next one I'll be doing is going to be Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane. So this will be coming up on the next review, and I'll be going through all of the, you know, all seven of these records, doing reviews on all of them. And I do have more comparisons on other videos of ones that I already have, you know, a different copy of. So where appropriate, where I have another copy, I will be doing comparisons, sound comparisons. Otherwise, I'll just be doing like this video, just kind of giving you my impressions and talking about the album and the historic significance and kind of where it falls in line in Monk's discography. So, and I think these Riverside sessions are certainly among his best work, in my opinion. So, all right, this is Ruby, My Dear. Nice ballad. So I'm going to close out with this one, folks. Thanks for joining me, and more to come. Happy listening to all. I'll talk to you later.